Here's the question bank area of Test Initiative, and this is where you create questions or assign them to folders or assign them different tags or categories per se. Right now I have 2 questions which I created, or 4 questions earlier, and I need to assign them to my ICT subject area and give them some kind of a tag so I know if they're multiple choice or if they're paper 1, etc. So I'm going to look at the questions that I have by selecting those, and it shows there's 4 here. If I click on those and list the 4 questions, it shows ones that I've had. I can see this one here is a select question. So I'm going to edit this, and at the top you have the question area, what the scores are, valued for it, and the folder it should be in. I'm going to change my folder to ICT and choose that subject area, and then I'm going to give it the tag name matching, which I'd created earlier, and add it, as well as paper 1, and add that. I don't need general, it's just not a general question, it's more specific. So I now have these tags. I could add a new tag if I wanted to and call it internet or whatever I wanted to, and then add that. I'm not going to, so I'll take that one out and save it. And now that's been assigned to the ICT folder and into the category matching. So now you can see where there's matching category right here, another one's added, and where I had 4 questions before, I now have 3. Let's look at making a question in Question Bank. If I hit the plus, I select from here the type of question that I want, and I'm going to switch over to the paper that I have open, and I'm going to use this question on expert systems. So I'll just copy the text for now, and I can see that this is going to be a short answer question, so, or a 5-point question. So I'm going to say it's an input question, and I'm going to put the instructions by pasting them in here and make sure it's formatted correctly. And then that's pretty much it. I can put an answer in if I had matching or something that's specific word that they needed to enter for points, but I'm going to leave this for now. Scoring for this, I can see from the paper it's worth 5 points, so I'll give it a value of 5 so that later I can assign whatever points I think the student should have gotten for the answer that they put. And here's where I go to folder, select it as ICT, select the tag paper 1, add that one, and then also put in short answer, like so. Add that. You'll notice I don't have to remove general because this isn't a question I just made before without assigning it to tags or folders. When I've done that and save it, you'll now see that a question is created. Would you like to do a new question? I'm just going to say no. I'm just going to close that, go back to Question Bank, and you'll see there's 10 questions now in my bank to use. I've created my questions in Question Bank, and now I want to make an actual test. To do this, I could just click plus down here and give it the name that I want to call it, and I don't need to call it a name because I'm going to edit one I've already had, which I've called paper 1, and I could put the year in here as well if I want to. I'm going to edit this one because I've already started it and I want to continue with it. So right now you can see there's different areas to a paper. You can have a section and a page. And so think of a section as a group of pages that a paper might have to do or a student might have to do for an exam. And normally, obviously, most papers are going to be one section. Everything's within the one section, like so. But you can add another section if you want to. And then pages are the questions that would appear on that. So now I'm going to edit page 1, which I've created already. And here you can see these are the questions that I have assigned from Question Bank to page 1 in this paper. And I only have a few questions there, and you can see the point value on the side. And if I hit preview, this is what the student sees, how it looks to them. So here they would select from a drop-down list as to what the answers are. Down here is where they would type in the answer. Of course, they're not going to see wide area network. Here, they're going to type in the answer. Again, if they put in wide area network, they would get the point value that's associated with that. So let's take a look and see. I'm on page 5 right now, and right here I have a picture that's been embedded so that they know what the chart looks like that they're supposed to be using. and I'm going to come down and add a question that I just created. So to do that, I hit the plus symbol and I go to Browse Question Bank, and I'm going to go to the short answer one, which I selected a second ago, and list the questions that are in short answer. And I believe that the question that I asked was expert systems, and this is the one that I would like to add to the paper. I select it, or I can select multiple questions by ticking them on the side, and you'll see here as selected questions change. I'll unselect that, and now I have added that question to this page. When I'm done, I just go to close, like so, and now that page has that question on it, and if I'm happy with everything, the kids are ready to go and take page 5 with that question on it ready to go. With each paper, you have time limits that you can set. By clicking on the configuration buttons on the side here, you can set a time limit and allow the student to move forward or back through questions. If you don't want them to go back into the paper, then you would choose only allowing forward, and obviously. And you can shuffle the sections if you want to, shuffle the pages within a section. I'll show you how to do that. And then also set a time limit. That would be for the entire paper. If you have students that have ILPs, you would just duplicate the paper and add the additional 25% time to them. So here you can see also 2 security options are prevent selection, so that they can't select text from somewhere and save it, and you can't allow them to print to their printer in case they wanted to print it out and share the questions with somebody else. In a section, you can also set the settings in a section, and you can see right now that there's a time limit set to this. And over here we have starting content to tell them a message at the start of this particular section. That's done again in the settings area here. Here's what the content would be, and again this is the time limit set on, which gives them an hour of time right now. You can title this section if you want to and give it a name other than section 1. We'll just save it. And then you can actually even set for a page a time limit if you wanted to. So once again, you can turn time on or off. For the page, remember the time is cumulative, so you have 3600 because the whole test has that much time left. If you'd used time up in previous questions, you would not have the 3600 seconds available to you. So again, you can set time limits for an entire paper, for a section, or even for a page itself. One of the great things about this online system is the ability to input answers, not just by typing them in. So let's take a look. An input question, and here's where you would ask whatever the question is, and the answer that you have here can either be a text field, where down below you would see they enter into a text box, or you could have a audio recorder or a video recorder. So audio recorder would be excellent for MFL. So now they would start recording, and they'd get a button. Of course, in the question itself, they could have a audio file read to them right here, and then in their answer, they could respond to it by start recording, or they could have a video file. And so the question could be a math question. They have to write the answer out, and then by clicking open camera, that would open up the camera. Well, they've already got it open, that they're taking a picture of themselves, so I don't need to open camera right now. And they would hold the answer up and of course record the answer for the teacher to be able to see. This is especially for questions where it's difficult to write the equation out because it uses special symbols and all. So this would give the students the opportunity to write the answer out as they would an exam on paper, easily freehand drawing the symbols, and then display that to the teacher. The answer itself could also be, like, obviously written at the end and circled, so for quick reference to see if they got the correct answer or not. So now the test is created. The next thing is to actually set it up as a task that can be taken by students. So here you can see I have paper 1. I could have clicked down here and chosen plus and start the process of creating a new task, but I'll edit the one that I already have open and show it to you. So tasks, here is the title of it, and then the instructions in the very beginning, which tell the candidates what they should be doing, and then additional instructions for taking the test. If we wanted to redirect them to a page at the end with instructions, you could put that here. And now down the bottom, I just add tasks, and the task in itself is just a paper. So from here I would select the paper one that I selected and hit add, and that's how this ended up here. Again, I could go in and edit this particular one by clicking on the edit button if I want to, but I don't really need to do that, so I will leave it as it is. Access allows you to determine the URL that you're going to give to them, and then if it's actually available or not. So by turning this on or off, you can set when it's actually available by also putting in a date. If you want to say that we know it's not, they can't take it till May 1st, and it's only available till May 5th. And then authentication. So we could ask them to put in a code, or could ask them to put in their candidate ID number and a code, and then once they do that, they would start the test. So I've said no authentication for now. And then at the end, at the top here too, I could put in the group that I've selected, so my class group, so only those particular students get it. And then I can look at the results of the paper when they've actually taken it down the bottom here. If they're taking the paper, I can click on live and actually connect to that and be like the moderator during the exam, available if there is an issue. So that is how you set up the exam ready to be taken, and next I'm going to show you taking the exam.
So let's take a look at actually taking a test. Under tasks here, I've actually switched to my laptop to be able to use the webcam. So under tasks, I'm going to look at the same paper. And down the bottom of this paper, which they're going to be taking, are steps that you can take. I've already added one step, which is to actually take that paper. Let's edit it and see what some of the settings are that we can set. So in this one, again, we could have further instructions for the students, make it available or not. Again, restrict the browser to a particular platform. So if we wanted only to allow, let's say, Chrome as a browser, you could choose just Chrome if that's what we wanted to make it. And what else do we have? Monitoring. So again, monitoring can be set to no monitoring, or to take pictures with their webcam or the screen every once in a while, or to record video. I'm going to select record video, and let's see what it does. Secure the browser. Yep, I'm going to want to enforce full screen so that they can only use full screen, and you can even limit the number of times that they make a violation. So for example, right now it's set to 5. They can only get out of full screen 5 times. I don't really want that. I'll just set it to 2. And how many seconds? If they're out of full screen, 10 seconds is the maximum amount of time that they have. And total number of seconds that they can violate during the test is 20 seconds, which anyhow goes along with the 2 times at 10 seconds. So notification can be set that if there is a problem or whatever, to send it to an email address, and then advanced reporting and feedback options again give you the ability to do comparative checks of the answers against the rest of the class, etc. So I'm going to save that, and pretty much now my test is ready to take. So we're going to take the test. Okay, so here I am at the link given to me as a student, and I'm ready to take my exam or test. I'm going to put in my student number or candidate number, and when I select, I'll put in my candidate number. It's already associated me to my account that's been set up by the teacher. And so it says, how many times can I take the test? 1. So I'm going to start the test now. It says you're about to start the test. Confirm. Yes. So it lets me know that it's going to be using my video to monitor, or my webcam to monitor video, and I have to consent to this. Again, either webcam can be turned on or off. It doesn't have to, or even just individual pictures can be taken during the test. So I understand. I check down here and I can see where my webcam is facing and adjust my webcam as per the instructions of the exam, and I am ready to start the test. And so it tells me that I will be taking this test in full screen mode and what the conditions of the test are. If I close the window, then the exam will be terminated immediately. I understand, and I'm going to start the test. And here it is. It loads the test. On the side, you can see how many pages are in the actual exam and how many questions per page, ones that have been answered or not answered yet. So basically, this is just a test paper. These are the initial instructions. Please note that the webcam is used to monitor, so on and so forth. Browser is locked. Next. Are you sure you're ready to start? As soon as I do, I should see a counter at the top telling me how much time I have to be able to take this exam and how many questions I've answered. So right now I have 1 hour and it's counting down, and here it shows my progress along with how many of the questions I've answered. So I'm going to start answering the questions, and I'm going to pause the test, and well, actually I'll show you answering the questions. So a device used to enter PIN, numeric keypad, analyze, executes line by line, interpreter, output of solid object, 3D printer, and so you can see I'm moving through the test as a student would. Down here, I get to type in my answer for what the student should be putting in, etc. So I'm going to finish taking this test, and then I will come back in a second and show you what it looks like when it's finished. Okay, I'm on my last question here. For many of these, I've just typed in any characters, so I'm going to finish the test. Are you sure you want to finish? Confirm. When I do that, tells me that the test is over. I can close this page, and I am basically done. So back in the exam software, we can see that I'm in this task. I'm going to have to log in again because I was logged out of my browser. So I am going to log it back in really quickly. Sign in. And sign in. And test invite. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the tasks and look at that test which I've given on this particular day. And I can see under the results that most recently this was taken here by Mark Hamilton in year 11 ICT, and my email address and my candidate number right here. So I can see that right now I've got 18% on this test, and 6 evaluations are missing, which means I manually have to enter the score for these. If I go to report, it gives me detailed information about this particular student, how many were right, how many were wrong, how many were partially even correct. And of course, in here, in the answers section, allows me to go in and update the evaluation here so that I can give the scores or the correct points that should have been given. So for each one of these, I could evaluate or adjust the score if the score was incorrect. So that's how students can take tests using the online system called TestInvite.